What is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? We have another top 5 countdown. We've done this one once before, but it's been about 2 years, so I think it's definitely time to revise it, do an updated version, and that is my top 5 favorite golf ball companies. This is for 2025. Let's dive right in. Guys, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, all the free stuff. We also have a membership that just starts at $1. And if you're new here, we are glad to have you. This is a channel called Golf Ball Addict, and that's exactly what we are. We love golf balls. I've tested over 180 on the channel at this point. I have all kinds of golf balls that you've never heard of before, and my main goal is I want to change the way you think about them. And I also test golf balls from an average golfer standpoint. So things like forgiveness, side spin, things like that I really pay a lot of attention to on the channel, as well as value. So this list is going to be a little different than probably what you've seen before. So my top 5 favorite golf ball companies, the criteria for this is simple. So the main focus is going to be on the entire golf ball lineup. So unfortunately, companies like Legato, even though I absolutely love the Legato golf ball, they only have one golf ball. And so that's not going to unfortunately make the list. You have to have, a lineup of golf balls, and they can fall under your umbrella. It can be the same company. It doesn't necessarily have to just be, obviously like Bridgestone has Bridgestone, and they also have the Precept Laddie and things like that, so it can fall under the umbrella. But golf balls are the most important, how they are, how they perform, how good your lineup is from your 2 pieces all the way to your 4 pieces, tour balls, things like that. But also, as an added bonus, if you do offer additional things like clubs, clothing line, accessories, things like that, that's kind of a bonus, so I do figure that in. But the focus is on the golf ball. So without further ado, let's dive right into our number 5, which is TaylorMade Golf. I'm not a big TaylorMade guy, but I do have to give credit where credit's due, and TaylorMade continues to make improvements. Now, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I couldn't stand them. I didn't like anything what they were doing. The TP5 was way too hard. The TP5X might as well been like one of those dark matter energy balls, basically, the black matter dark balls that basically weigh like the size of a planet or whatever. That's what it might as well have been. I hated them. They were so unforgiving, couldn't stand them. But over the last couple years, they have softened up the TP5. They have softened up the TP5X, even though it's definitely not for the average swinger, but they've definitely made it a lot better. And then also look at the stripe. The stripe has really come a long way. It's really pioneered a lot of alignment tools, and a lot of golf companies are mimicking them and copying them. And that's also a really good performing golf ball. It's just a little expensive, unfortunately. Then we get into the Speedsoft, which was a really big bright spot for TaylorMade last year. It was actually the first golf ball I reviewed for season 4 last year, and the community feedback for that golf ball is incredible. Again, innovative, creative. Look, you got that paint design on there. You can also just buy it in the regular yellow or white. Awesome options there, but TaylorMade doesn't even stop there. Their limited editions are some of the best in the industry, if not the best. I mean, right now, as you can see, you got that Azalea one on there, which is awesome. You had a Red Bull one for a while. They come out with they have the darts and stuff. They're always coming out with these really cool, unique designs. And even though they are on the expensive side, they offer something that a lot of other golf companies don't. And that's a way to show your personality a little bit, be different, and just kind of mix it up. And I like that. They also have a really cool clothing line. And I'm not big on their clubs by any means, but a lot of people are. And so I think that definitely carries some weight. So all in all, TaylorMade doesn't have any one particular product that blows me away, but they just do everything good. And you know what? Everything good definitely deserves a spot on this list. So number 5, I definitely feel confident with putting them there. Good job, TaylorMade. The improvements you've made over the last few years haven't gone unnoticed. I hope you continue. I'd love to see one of your golf balls get in our top 20. At number 4, we have Maxfli Golf. And you know what? Again, another company that continues to make great strides every year, every couple years. The improvements they have made to their tour balls over the last 5 years in general is just out of this world. We just got done reviewing the new 2025 models, and it's incredible what they've done to create competition in the golf ball industry. They really have disrupted it, because now, My Golf Spy and Golf Digest and a lot of other major publications are essentially backing Maxfli, saying that the build quality is really good, and the golf balls perform, and tour players are using them, and you can get them for as low as $30 a dozen. Yeah, that's half of what the big boys cost. So that's a very, very big deal. It's easy to see why so many of you have switched. But here's the thing. Their tour balls, they are kind of for the advanced player. They really are. They don't test the best when it comes to the average swing, but they definitely have some eye-popping numbers for sure. But where MaxFly continues this is in their beginner lineup, which is the soft fly, the tri-fly, and the straight fly, which all three of those golf balls are fantastic. This year, not only did they continue to make improvements, but they have, these cool, designs on them and the paint splatter. They tried to make it, personality different. I give MaxFly a lot of credit. And of course, a lot of you know that MaxFly did come out with some clubs this year that actually have a nice little simplistic, sexy look to them. I like it. Honestly, MaxFly is doing wonderful things. They're owned by Dick's Sporting Goods, so you could also get into the fact that there's the Top Flight golf balls, which now have one or two that aren't bad. They're actually making really good improvements there also. And you got to look at Walter Hagen. That's their clothing line. They have Tommy Armour. Obviously I just didn't want to put Dick's Sporting Goods in there, but MaxFly is definitely the highlight out of that bunch. So great job. Continue to make those improvements. MaxFly might end up being top 3 or top 2 here in a couple years. At number 3, we have Wilson Golf. Now, Wilson's an interesting company because when it comes to the golf ball world, they have a lot of options, right? They have their main, staff series, which the Wilson Staff and the Wilson Staff X have been 2 golf balls that have performed just incredibly, especially in robotic testing. They've been top 3 for the last 2 or 3 years in almost every test I've seen, which is nothing to shake a stick at. That's awesome. But also where Wilson really comes in is their Triad is out of this world. We got done reviewing the Triad about a month ago. They softened it up from the previous version, but the thing is that their previous version was awesome. This new version is awesome. They continue to make improvements, but Wilson also does really, really well when it comes to the $1 a golf ball lineup. They have, the Wilson Zip. They have the Wilson Profile. They have the Wilson Chaos. They have the Wilson Smart Core. They have the Wilson Boost, and all those golf balls performed positively on this channel. And in fact, the Wilson Boost at $10 a dozen, Walmart, out of all things, got our number 3 spot on our top 100 last year. And the community feedback, just ask them. It's phenomenal. So you got to respect Wilson. Their golf ball lineup is just absolutely insane. They do some wonderful things. The only reason they get 3rd is because, well, one, they do have a couple stinkers in there. When you have as many golf balls in that $1 per golf ball lineup like they do, there's going to be a couple stinkers in there, unfortunately, and I'm just not a big fan of them. Also, the big thing with Wilson is they don't advertise their product very well. I think that they are so underused when it comes to marketing because, let me tell you something, Wilson clubs, awesome, sexy, youthful, but traditional also. It's like youthful and traditional at the same time, like great. They're putters, some of the best in the game, and you can get a certain lineup of them for $100 a piece. I did a review a few years ago, love it. They do a lot of that stuff really well, but there's no gear, there's no apparel. I think they're missing out. I think they're missing the market here. What if I want a Wilson ball marker? Can't find one. So I wish they would dive a little bit more into that. I wish they would invest more in it. But still, Wilson makes some darn good golf balls. That's all there is to it. At number 2, we have Vice Golf. As you guys know, we have loved Vice on this channel for many, many years, and really for good reason, because one, their entire golf ball lineup, excluding the drive, of course, but when it comes to the Tour and the Pro Series, all those golf balls are top 10, top 15. Every single year we do the top 100, so no big surprise there. They're, limited editions, the drip design, the hue design, it's youthful, it's different. They've come out, look at these right here, these Greg Mike editions with the eyeball. That's cool, that's different. You can get them for not really that much of a premium price. They offer a bulk discount, 5 dozen. You can get them for as low as $32.99. That's great, awesome. Vice also came out with clubs last year. I've been using Vice irons since January, February, and I have been loving it so far. I have the wedges. I honestly am just super impressed with those irons. I got a chance to talk to Vice when I went to the PGA show, and their club designer knows what he's doing. He's extremely passionate. He's extremely loving of everything he does, and he is striving to make better clubs. They just came out with drivers this year. Honestly, just from top to bottom, they do so many things right. If I had to choose something I wish they would do a little bit better, one, they got to watch the price increases. It keeps going up every year a little bit. Just try not to get too much higher than that. But also, their clothing, I wish was a little more out there. What I mean by that is look at some of these clothes here. Don't get me wrong, these are nice, they're classy, but I don't think of classy when I think of Vice. When I think of Vice, I think of that drip design, and I think of the hue, and I think of fun, and I think of loud, and then all of a sudden you go to their clothing and it's like all sophisticated yacht club prep. And I just kind of don't, I don't get that. It's kind of a switch. I wish they would do more fun stuff, but still keep that level of fashion in there. But those are two minor complaints. Vice is awesome. You know we love them. All right, I have two honorable mentions here. Let's go ahead and get into those. The first one is Seed Golf. Now, Seed Golf is one of my favorite golf ball companies because they have so much attention to detail. They do a ton of different models that really, emphasize different golfers and their swing speeds and their skill levels. I love that. They are truly passionate, and their owner is a very, very smart individual. Like that, after speaking to him for 5 minutes, you can see why he's in this industry and why he's doing what he's doing and why he's successful. It makes no, it's obvious. But where Seed leaves a little bit to be desired is unfortunately, the accessories. They don't have many of them. They do have tees, and I think they have a couple hats, and that's kind of cool, but that's about it. And don't get me wrong, the emphasis here is on golf balls, but Seed just doesn't have enough yet to get in that top 5. But they're very, very close, and I got to give them a shout out for sure. And my other honorable mention, Titleist. Titleist Golf. Yeah, that'll probably surprise a few of you, but here's ultimately why Titleist didn't make it in. First of all, we're talking about the whole golf ball spectrum, right? I swing from the average swing standpoint. This is what we're at. So the Pro V1, good numbers. I would call it good, absolutely. Pro V1X, one of the most punishing firm golf balls I've ever hit. I mean, my numbers with it were so bad just because, boy, you accidentally close the face a little bit, you mishit it a little off the toe, and there is so much punishment there that it's not for the average swinger. That golf ball is intended for extremely advanced players, and so unfortunately my numbers with it were just not up to par. So then we get into Titleist's budget line, which usually tests better on my channel, but budget is in air quotes because their two-piece golf balls are as follows. The Tour Soft, which is $40 a dozen. Not gonna get it done, unfortunately. And then you have the Velocity, which is a great golf ball. I actually really enjoy the Velocity. But again, $30 a dozen for a two-piece. It's on the expensive side, and there's a lot of other golf balls that provide more value with a similar experience as far as performance. So it kind of ends up getting washed. And then you have the TrueFeel, which is another good golf ball. It's good. I enjoy it. I think for beginners it's awesome. It offers some minor tour ball-like qualities, but just in a two-piece form, which is nice, and it's only $25 a dozen, so it's not the end of the world. Where Titleist really gets the majority of their momentum is from the Pinnacle lineup. I mean, the Pinnacle balls test great on the channel. The Rush is awesome. Everyone seems to love it on the channel. The Soft is great for slower swing speeds, and they just came out with the Distance, which is the World Long Drive golf ball this year. Also, you got to look at FootJoy. FootJoy is awesome. I love FootJoy. I love their shoes. I love their, their shirts, everything. FootJoy is just a great brand. Then you look at Scotty Cameron, which those are beautiful. They're very well put together, but kind of expensive if you ask me. The Vokey wedges are good. Again, just not my cup of tea, but they are good. They have a great reputation. And then, of course, I have to also include Union Green in there because, unfortunately, Cushnet, they own all that, and that was a failed ball company. So, look, Titleist, Acushnet, whatever you want to call it, has a big umbrella. They have a lot of good. They have some really great. It's kind of a roller coaster. But if I have to condense it all down, I have to look at that main golf ball lineup. And for me, it's kind of the weakest part of all of it. And at number 1, we have no surprise, PXG. Now, PXG only has 2 golf balls, but there's a reason I allow that because their golf balls last year were my number 1 and my number 2 on our top 100, which was insane. Like, if you've never seen that before, just to get number 1 on a top 100 golf ball list is so difficult to do, especially with the criteria I've laid in front. So the fact that they were able to get not only number 1, but then their other golf ball got number 2 right behind it, it really was a top tier performance. I couldn't believe it. And even when I found out, I was adding up the numbers, I was shocked. Since then, I've been using it. The feedback from the community here has just been overwhelmingly positive. Many of you have bought it and told me, like, no, this thing's the real deal. It is the real deal. So those golf balls, having 2 powerhouses like that, it definitely is my number 1. But they also get some bonus brownie points. They take care of heroes. The heroes discount is awesome. Teachers, nurses, military, all that stuff gets a discount. But it goes a step further. PXG makes phenomenal golf clubs. They have an incredible fitting process, and their clothing line honestly is really nice. I like it a lot. I'm kind of jealous. I'm half tempted to start sending some emails and asking them if I can get a discount on some of those clothing, because I'll tell you what, I love how they look. Ball markers, everything. Like, PXG has become the full package, and what's really nice is now they're opening up more and more locations where you could go get fitted. PXG has really force their way in the door. They didn't, a lot of golf ball companies I've noticed will open the door up a little bit and, they'll look in and they'll be like, hey, do you mind if I come in and hang out with you guys? PXG kicked the door down and was like, hey, listen, I'm the captain now. Like, I'm going to do this. And I got to say, I'm all for it. So great job, PXG. Guys, that's my top 5 favorite golf ball companies for 2025. Honestly, I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is one of the few videos I do that's actually opinion-based. Most of the time it's just all data-based, but this actually is a little bit of opinion in there, mixed with some data, of course, that we've gotten from the channel. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.